Counterfeit relationships, that's something I really want to talk about because in this time, we see a lot of people getting caught up and being deceived by these counterfeits that look like the real thing. And of course, we know that's the work of the enemy, to always deceive us, to lead us astray from the plans and the purpose that God has for us. And when we find ourselves in a counterfeit relationship, one thing you're going to see is that it may start out okay. They may say all the right things, they may do the right things, but those real situations are going to expose where their heart is at, and it starts to show their true colors. And that's when you'll start to notice, like, is that something a man of God would really say? Is that something a woman of God would really do? And you have to be very discerning. You have to take your emotions out the equation. When you first get to know somebody, you need to maintain healthy distance so you do not be ensnared by your feelings. As the saying goes, people get love bombed. Especially if we dealing with something from a godly standpoint. God ain't calling us to get all, lovey-dovey out the gate. You know what I'm saying? We have to maintain a good distance and see, if this person really is the man or woman of God that they say they is. But if somebody comes out the gate trying to get too close to you and they want to spend all this extra time with you, that could be a work of the enemy working through them to try to blindside you. Love bombing, get you isolated, get you away from your friends and family that'll help you make good decisions too. They want to isolate you and say, nah, you shouldn't worry about them. It's just you and I. We got this going on. They ain't involved. Nah, y'all ain't married yet, so y'all shouldn't be isolated. It should be y'all friends and family business, to an extent. They don't need to know every single detail, but they need to know if this person really has your best interest in heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's important having the right things around us as we go into these relationships. You know what I'm saying? And people get blindsided. Then also you got to check your heart too. How much do you desire the things of God versus what your flesh is telling you? Because you'll say, I want a woman of God. You know what I'm saying? And you may get a woman that appears to be godly, but she's lustful. She's a seductress. She's sleeping around with every guy, but she just learned how to dress modestly, and quote a few Bible scriptures, to bait certain men. And you fell for the bait because your heart wasn't fully right with God. As the scripture saying, a man is enticed and drawn away by his own lust. That's how most of us fall, because Satan sees the things that we desire and he tries to dress it up the best way how, and then we take the bait. But when you're led by